So Microsoft is now the owner of Bethesda, and quite frankly that sucks, because Xbox is horrible. What with all its consumer-friendly business practices? Disgusting. But what if things had gone differently? What if EA had purchased them instead? Or even made Skyrim? How would it change the experience? And how broke would we be now with such fantastic monetization options? We'll wonder no more because I have decided to take that hypothetical question and make it a reality. Now you no longer need to fantasize about all the joy an EA-based Skyrim could bring you, because you can have it in the palm of your hands. Well, not literally, unless you have a Steam Deck, I guess, or a hacked Nintendo Switch, because I have made a mod that does just that. And in today's video, I'm gonna show you how I did it. When I think of EA, there's one key feature that immediately springs to mind, and that is of course loot boxes. After all, it was EA themselves that first introduced the concept to video games. And it was EA that nearly destroyed the video game industry with the launch of Battlefront 2. Now technically, Skyrim's chests are basically crap loot boxes anyway, but unfortunately there's no way to go bankrupt trying to open them. And that's a problem we need to fix. Now I suppose we could just lock every single dungeon chest and require the player to buy special keys in order to open them, but honestly, that would take a lot of work, and EA is certainly not about that. We need something simple and obnoxious, and that's where this chest comes in. I just put everything in it. That's it. You can even get Daedric artifacts if you're lucky. Doesn't that break the game, you say? Yes! Nothing makes a game more fun than being able to pay for items that make the game itself basically pointless. But we have another problem, because we need a second in-game currency, and one that we can convert our purchase currency into, because otherwise we would be in big trouble with the Federal Trade Commission for violating the US's gambling laws. Just a sneaky little loophole there. Unfortunately though, we can't actually implement a real pay-to-win system, as that would also be a legal violation of Bethesda's user agreement. But we can at least emulate the process, which I suppose is good enough for us. Now, with all that out of the way, we do still have one big problem. After all, we don't want our players to go throughout the game completely unaware of this amazing opportunity. So I think what we need is a pop-up ad to remind our players every so often of the money they could be spending. Yeah, the gamers love that. With all that squared away, there's another massive issue we need to fix. After all, as the game is right now, players could just keep playing the game without any interruptions, and we can't have that. I mean, otherwise they get a chance to realize how shallow and boring the gameplay is. Besides, gamers should be paying us for the right to keep playing the game that they already paid for. What we need is a stamina system, something that locks people out of the game, unless they spend more money, of course. Now, obviously, Skyrim already has stamina, and we could in theory regulate this, but that wouldn't really be obtuse enough. After all, you can technically still play the game with zero stamina, and that's a problem. Instead, I have developed a script that will pop up this message box every 30 minutes asking the player to either pay for more time or use a special item to fully refill their stamina. And this is even better, because we can actually create some fun connectivity between this and our loot box by giving the player a chance to get that special item during a pull. Because the best gift of all is the gift of time.
Oh yeah!
Now, the last thing we would want is some sort of store page filled with useless microtransactions. But fortunately, Bethesda's already done that for us. Thanks, Bethesda. However, one thing they weirdly forgot to implement is in-game pop-ups to remind players to visit the Creation Club and purchase all of the awesome content. How could you possibly forget that, Bethesda? You silly skeevers. And while we're at it, we might as well add a few more pop-ups too. I mean, we have all kinds of other great games people can play, like Elder Scrolls Blades and Fallout Shelter, probably. Man, I can't believe how much better this game has already gotten. Now listen guys, I've got to be honest with you. The true purpose of this video wasn't actually to make the ideal Skyrim. It was actually just to give myself a chance to get familiar with Skyrim's creation kit. And I have to say, after using Oblivion's construction kit with the extender plugin, Skyrim's creation kit is absolute trash. The creation kit's such a buggy, broken, useless mess, and I'm simply amazed that anybody has bothered to make mods for Skyrim at all. Also, Skyrim's updated Papyrus script, despite having more bells and whistles, feels so much more useless. If you want to experience the joys of this mod for yourself, you can find a link in the description down below. Of course, if after all that you still haven't had enough of this kind of fun, you could just play Blades. Now that's the perfect game. I'll see you guys in the next video, and goodbye.